Welcome everybody, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. This is our painting remix class. So this is the first time we're giving this class. It is a new class for us. We just came up with it because we had a hole in the schedule and we thought, well, let's make a painting class. So I think, did you take my pottery remix class?
No.
I didn't think so. So it's sort of a new concept we came up with this year, is to sort of take something and turn it on its head. So that's sort of what this painting is we're gonna look at things like pastoral landscapes and things that are sort of more traditional, photography based, realistically based things, and then we're gonna turn them on their head and change them into things that are more abstract. So if you looked at the syllabus, I gave you some examples for Mr. Henry Cavill, which I thought was very exciting. You can see this is a very realistic photo of him that we sort of then made into a more abstract look. And so this whole class is basically based around the idea of cubism and fauvism. And these are two good examples of that. So cubism is where you reduce something to its simple forms and shapes and colors, and you reproduce it with those simpler shapes and colors. Fauvism is much the same, whereas it is about abstracting color, making things heightened, not necessarily making things look realistic. In fact, this whole class is not about making it look realistic. It's about looking abstract and different. So let me tell you a little bit about it. Here's another great example. Sort of some fauvism examples. So basically, Cubism is an early 20th century avant-garde art movement that revolutionized European painting and sculpture and inspired related movements in music and literature. So, and also sculpture. Cubist artwork objects are analyzed, broken up, and reassembled in an abstracted form. And instead of depicting objects from a single viewpoint, the reassembled objects are depicted in a multitude of viewpoints to represent several different sides and shapes. So it's taking something that looks realistic and then, yes, making it abstract. So simplifying the forms, simplifying the shapes. In Cubism, a thing they did a lot was they put a lot of thick line around things to make things look even flatter than it did. So that's a big part of it. So that's what we're going to do today. We've got these examples we can look at, but we have a great example made by someone in this room. So this is our pastoral landscape. This is an example of a pastoral landscape. You can see it's very realistic looking. The colors are muted. It looks very much like something that you would see back in the Renaissance times. And then our example is that we've taken it and abstracted it, changed the colors, changed the shape, simplified the forms, and made it into something that is similar to the original but completely different at the same time. So this is our good example that we have. We have some other good examples. I'm going to do an example right now, actually, because in the last class I used this one. I used this photo to make my example. And it's not done yet, but this is partially what I made with it. So we're going to be using these boards to paint on, and we'll just be taking things and simplifying the shapes and adding colors, making it so it's very unrealistic. Does that make sense? All right, let me do an example then so that we can get started. So I will use this again. If you want to gather around here. For me, it's about making these decisions, these sort of abstract decisions. So going into it, I like this a lot. I love the mirror image. I love that idea. I love a landscape. I think the sky is really pretty. But these shapes are, very organic, and I think I'd like to make them a bit more angular. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by making my horizon line. And then I'm just gonna sort of go off of that and make these shapes different. So like, for instance, I would start sort of making this mountain. So I'm just gonna sort of start like I normally would, but I'm just going to make it a little bit more abstract. So it's not trying to look like it looks in the photo, it's trying to look like something else. So it's a very simplistic shape that I've made, and it has some sort of like things across here. And then our mirror image can look totally different than this, actually. Actually, I like this shape too. So our mirror image can go like this, it can go like this, it can go like this. We wanna, I love these cloud structures, so I'm gonna give it a little bit of like abstract looking cloud shapes. And also this is very cubist. I'm sort of making it look very cubist on purpose with angles and shapes. So you can feel free to do it abstractly in any way that you like. You don't have to follow these examples. This is just sort of one way to do it. One of the great things about abstract art is that it doesn't have to look representative of anything. It can look any way you want it to, and it can be anything. Also, something we do here at Remainders is we don't overthink things. We let the ideas flow, we let shapes and lines be made, and we don't overthink any of it, because that's not gonna be very much fun in the long run. So we just, fantastic. I hope it is for you. I hope so. We just kind of go with the flow and we have a good time. So you can see, you know, these don't necessarily look that much alike, which is fine. They're not meant to. They're meant to be, this is meant to be something of its own. This is only a reference. So then, once you've done that part, you just start painting it in. Just like I did in the example. Would you give me the example, Caroline? So you can see, I mean, I like pink, and I thought a good complement to pink is always purple, because they're kind of like close to each other. So I just started filling in those shapes. And I didn't give it a lot of thought. I just let it go. So that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Any questions so far? No? Okay.
Let's do it.
So all of the stuff you need is right up here. Here are some examples. This actually has a bunch more photos in it as well. You'll look through that. Also, this is something you can use. Here's the stuff you can paint on. If you want to spackle in the writing, you can. I didn't really think it was, I was gonna spackle them all and I was like, nah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Because you can do it if you want to or not. I like it with the words on it. So here's spackle if you need it. Here are rulers.